Hi guys, so if you're watching this video, the assumption is you've already watched the two previous videos that I did trying to explain the relationship between Uganda, Kenya and Tanzania. It's very essential to watch these other two videos because it explains where they have come from. For everything that happens in life, there is a genesis, and for Uganda, Kenya and Tanzania, they have a very good relationship, but it wasn't always like that. So that's why I did these other two videos that I really implore you to watch so you can understand where we've come from when I talk about the harmony that's there between Uganda, Kenya and Tanzania. So if you have already watched them, kudos to you. So let's just delve into this video. So I've decided to break it in two parts because I realized if I talk about the relationship between Uganda, Kenya and Tanzania in one video, it will just be too much for you guys. So in this particular video, it's just about Uganda and Kenya. So let's just delve into it. Now, for those who are already living in East Africa, you already know the relationship. And for those of you who don't, well, you are about to get informed. So Uganda and Kenya are actually friendly neighbors and they are big trading partners. And both countries are actually some of the founding members of the East African community. Now, the East African community, of course, plays a huge role in enhancing the relationship between these two countries. It does a lot. A lot has come out that has really helped to harmonize the relationship between these two countries. But if you really want to know the product of the ESC, you need to know this, what I'm about to tell you. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, Uganda and Kenya are big trading partners, and there's something because of the ESC that is so phenomenal that happened. There's what we call the East African Community Single Customs Territory. For those of you who don't know what that means, it's basically the removal of trade restrictions, which also leads to the minimization of internal border controls. And the whole essence of this is to enhance trade. And of course, these two countries have really benefited a lot from that because goods and taxes are cleared at the first point of entry, so it makes life so much easier. Back then, it was a hassle, but because of the ESC, things are starting to fall into place and we can only hope for the best. And so, of course, when it comes to transportation, there are no visas needed to enter Uganda or Kenya. All you need is your national ID. If you have your national ID, whether it's Kenyan or Ugandan, you just have to show it at the border and voila! What you know, you're already in the country. And of course, the introduction of the East African passport, which makes life so much easier. There's that as well. And of course, when it comes to work permits for Ugandans working in Kenya or Kenyans working in Uganda, their work permits are free of charge. You don't have to pay a nickel for them. You can just go get them, of course, with terms and conditions, okay? Did you know that more than 40,000 Kenyan students study in Uganda? At university level? That's just university alone. I'm not talking about secondary or primary. I'm just talking about university. So more than 40,000 Kenyans study in Uganda at university level. You can't even imagine the number of Kenyans who are studying in the secondary schools. That's just university students alone. So because of that, you find that so many Kenyans are incorporated into the culture, the Ugandan culture. They understand the people, they understand the language, they understand the warmth that the Ugandan people give. I mean, I believe there's a reason why it's called the Pearl of Africa, because Ugandans, if there's one thing they're good at, it's being friendly and just being warm overall. I mean, it's just something that makes them unique and just sweet, I guess. But yeah, I just wanted to explain that fact that so many students in Kenya study from Uganda, and eventually, of course, when they graduate and they leave Uganda, or you find that there's this big community of Kenyans living in Uganda, Ugandans living in Kenya. So really the harmony continues on, and they tell stories to the other people who have been visited as well, like, oh, you know, Uganda is so warm, the people are so nice, and the climate is amazing, and all that stuff, and they're party animals. Of course, you find the Ugandans telling their fellow other Ugandans, like, oh no, Kenyans, oh, if you want to party, Kenya is the place to go. I mean, Kenyans just really know how to party. And speaking of partying, there is what they call Nyege Nyege. It usually happens in Uganda. It's an international festival just about culture, dance, leisure, just meeting people. And the biggest people that usually come from Nyege Nyege outside of Ugandans are Kenyans. Can you imagine that? Over 4,000 Kenyans on an annual basis, whenever Nyege Nyege is organized, 4,000 Kenyans tend to travel all the way to Uganda just to come and party and, you know, make new friends, catch up with their old friends. I mean, it's like the biggest foreign number outside of Uganda, people who come. They literally make up like 70% of the attendees of Nyege Nyege. So when I speak of the relationship and the harmony that Uganda and Kenya have, that is a fact. I mean, you can tell these guys usually travel over the weekends just to party in Uganda. And Ugandans do that as well. They travel to Kenya, you find them in the weekends, everybody is partying, and it begs the question, what time do these people go to work? Or maybe they're just self-employed, because every weekend you can't seem to find Kenyans and Ugandans who tell you we're just here for the weekend and then we'll be gone. Interesting. But that's the power of unity, the power of love, the power of harmony. And of course, I'll still give praise to the ESC, partly, yeah, but it has always been like that. When it comes to tourism, Uganda's tourism, the biggest people who come into the country for tourism reasons are usually people from other African countries. And of course, Kenyans make up the big number of people who come to Uganda to check out, their tourism. And of course, you need to know there's so many types of tourism. There's culture tourism, wildlife, food, and some people just, travel bloggers and all that stuff. So they just literally travel for the fun of it. So of course, when it comes to Ugandan food cuisines, oh my goodness, they're just amazing. And that's one thing Kenyans really love about Uganda. They love the food and the people and the atmosphere, and because it's cheap. I mean, food in Uganda is cheap, cost of living is cheaper compared to Kenya, so that's why you find so many Kenyans prefer living in Uganda than in Kenya. But of course, that's not to take away from Kenya. Kenya is a beautiful country, of course, but I'm just trying to tell you that, Uganda is nice as well. And I really wish other African countries can learn from the ESC as well. I mean, the harmony between Ugandans and Kenyans, oh my God, it's just so phenomenal. And it's something that I really, really adore when it comes to like Africanacity and all that stuff. I know there's so many limitations when it comes to that. It's not really practical in itself, but still you can't help but think that we have come a long way. For those who watched my previous videos, Uganda and Kenya, their relationship at a certain stage was really sour, but because the presidents really try their best to get along for the benefit of their country and their citizens, this is where we are, and I can't be any proud. And I know things will continue to get better, of course. Yeah guys, that's what I want to tell you about Kenya and Uganda when it comes to their amazing relationship. And I really hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get updated when videos like these are uploaded onto the channel. And I'll see you next time. Bye.